Certain diseases can kill large numbers of animals. This can be devastating for the economy in regards to agriculture. Researchers work to stop this from happening. Immunologist David Bradley studies diseases in geese. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
And you study, more particularly, avian flu antibodies. Could you give us a quick explanation of exactly what that is?
Well, the project is a project that has been going on for about 8 years. We've been developing goose antibodies as a therapy and diagnostic for a variety of diseases. And in this case, we're using those antibodies hopefully to treat mostly chickens and turkeys that have been infected with avian influenza.
Okay. Can you give us a, kind of step through the process of your research, how you do that?
Well, our antibodies are generated in geese and actually in the eggs, so we give the geese a killed product, usually a killed vaccine for whatever we want to grow antibodies to. In this case, we give them killed avian influenza vaccine. Those geese then produce eggs. We take the eggs and we purify the antibodies out of the eggs. The eggs are great incubators for antibodies. You could bleed the goose just as you'd bleed a horse or some other animal, but the egg is a renewable resource. So you pick up the eggs and get large quantities of antibodies out of it.
Okay. Now, what happens to a flock of birds if they get avian flu?
Well, the current protocol, if the USDA would use it, if a chicken farm came down with avian influenza, they wouldn't eradicate just that farm. They'd eradicate a circle around that farm, and usually that's about 5 miles. So you would eliminate, and oftentimes this is in areas where there are large numbers of chicken or turkey growers. So you'd eliminate literally millions of birds potentially if avian influenza broke out.
Yeah, some of those farms just alone, like turkey farms, have thousands of birds just in one farm.
The USDA estimates that they've spent millions and millions in cleaning up the last time this happened. And in addition to killing those birds, then there are the sanctions from other countries. The other countries that say, well, you've got avian influenza in your meat and your birds and your stock, we won't let your product in. And so not only have you killed millions of birds and lost that dollar of value, you've also lost that market.
Sure, widespread effects. Well, why geese in particular?
We started with geese, like I said, 8 years ago because there was a problem with geese and West Nile virus, and we went into geese looking for a cure for geese for West Nile virus, and we discovered that they had large antibody concentrations. We've then parlayed that into using the goose to make antibodies for a variety of human diseases and a bunch of diagnostics. In addition to all of that, the goose is, it's not just a big chicken. It produces more antibodies, and the avian antibody, bird antibodies in general, have characteristics that are really good for antiviral therapies as with avian influenza.
What makes your research difficult?
Time and money.
Mm-hmm. Well, you recently received a fairly large grant, correct?
The grant that we received, the Senators of Excellence Award, is a matching grant. So we got money from the state that is matched 2 to 1 by a private partner, and that is certainly helpful for this enterprise.
Okay. What do you hope to find and solve? I mean, is there a cure-all that you're going to find, or is there a lot of strains to the bird flu?
There are a lot of strains to the bird flu. I think one of the things that's really cool about the goose antibody platform really is you take one strain and you put it in the goose and you get antibodies out in 12 weeks, take another strain, put it in the goose and get antibodies out in 12 weeks. So it's really a platform to generate antibodies quickly in large quantities. And that's true for human diseases, that's true for animal health issues.
You talk about human diseases. Avian flu, can that transfer to humans? And there was the whole SARS thing a while ago. And that.
Avian influenza can go into humans. We've been looking at some other diseases. We've looked at rabies, and we have a really interesting project going on with dengue virus as well. So there's some human targets. We aren't really looking at avian influenza that we're doing now. We're looking more at a animal health issue. But it certainly could have human implications. One
last question for you. What gets you excited about this?
Well, I think the exciting thing is you have the opportunity. We have built a platform that we can generate therapies and diagnostics for a variety of things very, very quickly. You mentioned SARS, and when SARS comes up, and SARS is just new on the radar, nobody has a treatment for it, we can generate a therapy for that disease in about 12 weeks. And so you can really quickly address human health issues.
All right.
That's exciting.
Interesting topic. Thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks
We
for having me.
appreciate it.